Well, thank you very much for coming for joining me virtually today. Um, I wanted to do interviews with different art galleries to find out how they contribute to their communities and just find out more information on the different cultural centers in the interior and north central BC. Um, so I'll start off. So why are art organizations that promote arts and culture, specifically in North Central BC, important? And how did you get involved in that?
Well, do you want the long story or the short story?
Either one.
I've been involved in the arts pretty much all my life. I got involved with the arts and culture in North Central BC in the mid 1990s. I was living in Wells, and I was on the board for Isle Mountain Arts for from 95 until 2001. Then I moved to Quesnel, and I became involved with the Quesnel Art Gallery just as a volunteer to start with. But I've been on the board now. So I started there in 2001. I started on the board in 2014, and I've been on the board ever since. I've also been on the Arts Council board and also on the Arts BC board to represent the Cariboo in on that board. So yeah, I've done lots.
So you're very experienced with the arts and culture in the Cariboo region then.
I am.
Yes. And how does that, the Cariboo, like all the regions in BC, has a very unique culture.
Mhm.
How do you bring that out in your art gallery, and how do you contribute to that culture reaching the community and the art gallery?
Well, it's a mixed blessing, really. There's lots of artistic people in the Cariboo, North Cariboo specifically for myself. Being in Wells, the town is very focused on arts, so of course it was easy to get into that. And mind you, there's still lots of miners out there too. Um, but when I moved to Quesnel, Quesnel is a small city, and there's a lot of people that enjoy art, but there's also a lot of people that don't, and they're more concerned with the sports and the
Oh yeah,
the farming and whatnot. So yeah, it can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. We still get people saying, "Oh, I didn't know you had an art gallery here." Well, we've only been here for 40 years, so it's an ongoing battle.
yeah.
Um, but and being an artist myself, of course, it's always been important to me, and I enjoy doing volunteer work. And one thing in Quesnel, everybody does volunteer work. Everybody wears 10 hats, and you have to remember who you're talking to about what subject, and it's typical small town.
Yeah, I find the same as here as well because we're a very small community, much smaller than Quesnel, probably on par with Wells, and yet we have so many artistic people and such a strong volunteer network. And because we're only 500 people in town, and we have a beautiful art gallery with so much stuff. So
Hmm.
having that small town, everybody works together spirit really
And do
helps
you get a lot
us.
of tourists coming to your art gallery?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Do you get a lot of tourists coming to your art
Yes,
gallery?
there's
Yeah,
lots of,
I figured you would.
yeah. And all right, move on to the next subject. So many communities in northern and rural BC have been struggling with job losses and people leaving, population decline. But recently, there's been an appetite in the province for people to move back to their small towns and escape the city, the bustle of the city life. How can galleries take advantage of that and get these people involved in the community and contribute to the art?
Well, actually, that's a very apropos question, because we have noticed the same in Quesnel. In fact, the Quesnel City Council is encouraging people to retire to Quesnel, and we just had our AGM in June, and 2 or 3 of our new directors are people right in that demographic. They've retired from the Lower Mainland to Quesnel, and they had an arts background from where they were. And so one of the first things they did when they were in town was to visit the art gallery. And of course, if I'm sitting there at the gallery that day, they get the whole spiel about how they should get involved. And yeah, so yeah, we encourage people, and most people that have an arts background are really happy to be welcomed into a new community. And because I mean, it must be hard to move from a very busy life in the city to a more laid back small community. One thing people do say about Quesnel is it's very friendly, and they're very happy that everybody seems to be happy to see them.
Yeah.
So it seems to be, and in fact, I was at the gallery yesterday, and I was talking to a young couple that were on vacation from the Lower Mainland, and they were seriously thinking of moving to Quesnel because they enjoyed it so much. So yeah, we encourage that, like right from the city council level right down to the volunteer organizations in town. So yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Along with this push to move back to smaller communities, there's also been, over the last, I'd say 10 years or so, this push to consume and produce things locally.
Oh, that definitely holds
Yeah.
true in Quesnel. Yeah, like everybody I know, because of course that's my circle of people, shops local first.
Yes.
And I think we make a conscious effort of it, especially since COVID and so many things shut down. There's been a lot of local business people that we've had a whole marketing campaign about shopping local and supporting local small business. And to a large extent, it's been successful. There's been very few businesses that have actually had to close because of COVID. So in that sense, we've done very well.
Yeah, we have that too here. We've had a lot of people really pushing to support our small businesses here. And we don't just sell artwork, of course. We sell pottery, crafts,
Yeah,
leatherwork, soaps, all the good things. How do we push that in our communities? What are things galleries can do to support that?
Well, just as an example, last year we did a community mural. We were supposed to be doing a workshop within the gallery. That's what was planned. But then with COVID, we couldn't have people coming into the gallery. So what we did was we changed it to we made kits with the colors in the mural. And so for each kit, we put the paint for their section, and they painted little hexagon pieces of plywood. And then so they picked them up from the gallery, took them home, painted them, and then brought them back. We had 120 people buy a kit in less than a week. That's how enthusiastic they were. So then we had them all returned by the end. Like started that at the beginning of August. By the end of August, we had them all returned. Then in September, our art directors did the background for the mural and attached all of the little painting kit pieces. And if you go to our website, if you go to the Community Spirit mural page, you can see what we did. And it turned out wonderful. And then we had at the beginning of Culture Days at the end of September, we did a grand opening, and it was the unveiling of the mural was the opening act for the art walk that all the businesses and artists participated in. And it was totally successful. The community was so pleased with it. And now we are getting a booklet together to do like a walking tour of all the murals in town, because there's quite a few murals downtown. So basically, we're going to start it at our mural and then have people follow the booklet to see all the various murals that are in town. So that's our project for next summer. So, and the community seems to buy into it. We make it family friendly and encourage tourists to come and have a look-see. And yeah, it seems to be a successful way to go.
Yeah, that certainly is a good way to get around COVID restrictions and include people.
Yeah, and this summer, what we're doing is we have, I don't know if you've seen online, but they have those little libraries where people can take a book and leave a book kind of thing. What we've done is we've made little art galleries. And we've got one downtown and one at the rec center where the gallery is. And what people can do is bring little pieces of art, like 4x6, and they can leave a little piece of art and they can take home a little piece of art. So that way we can have community participation without having large gatherings of people again. So we're just going to leave them up and see how long they remain pertinent. Like it could be a year-round thing.
Well, that's amazing for the gallery to do that. How does your gallery try to be inclusive and accessible for people of all ages, going along with this theme of can't have gatherings, we can't do this and that? How do we include everybody in our day-to-day goings on and events like that?
Okay, we've been doing a lot of social media.
Okay.
We are trying to have, for each show, we are trying to do a feature page for each individual artist. It's usually like a month behind because it takes time to get caught up. But yeah, eventually we'll have, like by the end of the year, I should have all of the pages up for all of the shows for this year. And yeah, so basically a lot of social media, a lot of attention on the website, and our local newspaper is very good about getting word out there as well. So like we have an interview with each artist every month, and the paper generally does an article in their physical newspaper, and then they post it in their social media as well. So, and then with the social media, we, like the downtown association, like the various business associations in town, we cross promote all the time. So like when the downtown association posts a little video about our tiny art galleries, then when they post it, then we share it to our page, and so we do lots of cross posting that way. And so yeah, you need to have buy-in from the community, and as long as we're all supporting each other, then it works for everybody.
Okay. And how do you guys help the Indigenous community in this? Because Quesnel has a lot of Indigenous communities in it.
And we have at least one Indigenous show per year.
Okay.
It just happened to be in June this year during Indigenous month. We try we try not to make it tokenism, but we try to involve the community and involve the Friendship Center, and we have quite a number of Indigenous artists that help us promote within their community. So it helps to it's an ongoing thing, because Indigenous people are so used to being rejected by the mainstream that you have to really make an effort to include them. And we're finding the same thing with the South Asian community as well, because we have a fairly large community here as well of South Asians, and they tend to stick to themselves as well. And so we're trying to encourage them to be members and maybe have some things in the gift shop. And it's an ongoing thing where you have to just keep encouraging everybody, because it's difficult when people come from backgrounds where they're used to being cast aside.
Yes, we definitely find that here as well, which we want to include everybody. It's difficult sometimes.
If you can find somebody within that community that is willing to be involved with the gallery, with the arts community, then that person can help encourage other people from their community. It doesn't happen overnight.
No, it does not.
So yeah,
Takes a
it
lot
can
of.
be difficult, but we just keep trying. And we have a number, like I say, we have a number of members that are from other ethnicities, and it really helps for their communities to see that we're inclusive.
Mhm.
But I mean, a lot of people are not very outgoing anyway. You know, like it's hard. Like me, I'll talk your ear off, but not everybody's like that. You know.
Yes, we find that with many of our artists, they produce this amazing work, but they're very private people, very quiet, not very outgoing.
I would encourage them I don't know how your gift shop works, but our gift shop is a separate jurying process from the shows. And you have to be a member to be in the gift shop. And if they volunteer, their commission is 25%. If they don't volunteer, it's 35%. So it encourages people to come in and be a little bit involved, because our volunteers generally work, like they have to work 6 hours a month, which is basically one day, or 2 half shifts. And so if you can get somebody to come into the gallery as a member and showing, because in the gift shop, of course, you can only have a few items at a time, right? So there's no pressure to like put on a whole show. It just, you know, a little bit at a time. So we find that's a good way to introduce people. And we also have 2 community shows a year. Our Christmas show is what we call our members show. So you have to be a member to show in the Christmas show. And it's basically like a Christmas bazaar. And then we have this summer we had our um, uh, our garden show, and basically it's art, and it was in July. And basically that is a community show, and you don't have to be a member. Anyone in the community can show in the community show. It's very lightly juried. We just try to keep people from showing things that are made from a kit, you know, so basically original artwork. But we have the one community show every year and the one members show every year, and that encourages new members, and people that have never shown before will, like even children, will come and show in the community show. So it works out well.
Well, that's one thing we struggle with here is trying to get our younger people involved in it. I would say
Mhm.
almost all of our artists are over the age of 50, and we're
Oh
just not
yes.
seeing we're just not seeing well, first of all, young people can't really stay in this community because there's no work, no
Yeah.
opportunity for them. And we're finding we're just losing more and more people.
Yeah,
And
what you want to do is you want to start at the high school level. We found we do have our children, like we partner with the school district, and every year, one year it's the elementary kids, the next year it's the high school kids. So we always have a student show every year, and it encourages, because what it does is it gives the kids a chance to see their work in an actual art gallery, and so then they can feel proud of their work. They bring their grandparents. It's really quite fun. And but we have a good liaison with the high school art teacher, and she encourages the students to get involved and to show their work. Like they can, we'll take, like at the in the gift shop, we will, anybody's art, like high school students especially, but some of the older kids, like grade 11 and 12, their art is just as good as any adults, you know, if not better sometimes. So we do encourage them, and we've had a few come in. It can be difficult though, but you have to just keep trying all these different things. But we
yeah,
did find that having the liaison with the high school art teacher was a real plus.
we'll have to keep that in mind. So we're always trying to be a bigger presence in the community. That's very
Yeah,
important
and
for
like
us.
I say, I mean, I'm making it sound all rosy, but you know, we do have our moments where we're going, how are we going to do this? You know, so yeah, we have the same problems. It's just maybe we're a teeny bit ahead of where you are by the sounds of it.
Yes, you have a lot more people than us, so it's probably a bit easier.
Yeah, yeah, more of a base to draw from.
Yeah. And to wrap this up, I guess is there anything you would like to add to what you've said already?
Keep trying.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's the art world is, some people feel that the art world is an exclusive world. And the
Mm.
big thing, since I've been involved, the big thing I've been trying to, I always tell people, like when they ask about the gallery, the first thing I always say is our mandate is to bring art to the community. And that's basically where I move from in everything that we do. So it's if you keep that in the back of your mind that you're trying to do it as a community benefit, and how do I get the community to be involved? And like if you always approach it from that angle, I find you have far more success.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not artsy myself, but I really work hard to bring this to the community so it can benefit us all.
Well, you got to remember, every artist needs an audience.
Hmm.
So you get to be the audience.
Hmm. And um, I think that's it for the interview now. Well, thank you so much. We will send you this when we edit it, and we'll definitely send it to you.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.